Hello, everyone. I'd like to welcome everybody and thank you for your joining us today. This is the second webinar which provide a Jeonbuk province of South Korea and CBCM, a commissioned facilitator for accelerating cross-border business development for the Korean local governments. My name is Jeonbuk Lee, and I'm a managing partner of CBCM. Webinar 2020 Jeonbuk for foreign investors was planned as a total of 4 information sharing sessions this year, and today is our second session. Our previous first webinar covered detailed information on the revised Korean government's foreign investment support policy this year. Today, the second session will focus on the Korean government's New Deal plan, which will start in 2021. Before beginning, I'd like to introduce the panelists of this webinar. Jisoo Her, a senior consultant of CBCM, is going to present the first part of the session, including the introduction of 10 key projects of the Korean New Deal plan. And Dr. Seokjin Kim, an expert advisor of the Investment and Finance Division of Jeonbuk Provincial Office, will introduce Jeonbuk Province's New Deal plan and case review of related project. Jisoo, would you please introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. My name is Jisoo Her. I'm a senior consultant at CBCM. I will cover the first chapter of this session. Thank you.
Thank you. And Dr. Kim, would you please introduce?
Hello, my name is Seokjin Kim. Nice to meet you, everyone. Thank you.
Okay. In this webinar, for your language convenience, Ms. Yuri Song, our regional representative in Hanover, Germany, will support the translation. Yuri Song, would you please say hello?
Hello, everyone. My name is Yuri Song. Although the presentation will be done by these two presenters in English, I will be here supporting with translation as needed. Thank you.
Thank you. Also, I would like to special thanks to Dr. Alderlund and Mr. Greg Hogan from Oregon, US. Dr. Alderlund is the founder and the CEO of Element One Corporation. The company is a leading provider of hydrogen generation technology, including core technology of the purification and the fuel cell. And Mr. Gregory Doran and Mr. Chris Chatterton, CEO and COO at Methanol Institute from US and Singapore. Thank you so much. And also Mr. Robert McCullough from Loudoun County, Virginia, US. We are appreciative of your joining. If you have any questions along the way, we would appreciate if you send them to CBCM afterward, and we will respond as soon as possible. As mentioned before, this webinar session of today consists of 2 main chapters. I will hand over the voice to Ms. Jisoo Her for the first chapter. Jisoo? Sorry.
Okay, thank you. I will cover the first chapter as I mentioned. First, I will introduce overview and then key projects of New Deal policy. Finally, I will tell you expected outcomes of this policy. So let's start.
Okay.
I would like to start the session with this graph here, showing expected recovery pathways after COVID-19 shock. There are a few different pathways showing economy recovery rate, and clearly pathway C reflects the recovery with lower growth rate after some permanent loss. The ideal case would be pathway A, but most likely scenario will be somewhere between pathway A and C. In order to ensure the economy recovery above the pathway C, early response to structural changes is important. New Deal policy is focusing on two responses: accelerating the transition to a digital economy in line with the surge in non-face-to-face, and to a green economy as a demand for low carbon, eco-friendly economy increases. Okay. In response to the required structural changes, Korean New Deal projects are launched, and among the Korean New Deal projects, 10 key projects have been selected based on the efficiency, sustainability, and the magnitude of the impact on the economy. They are categorized in three areas: digital, green, and the convergence. Total investment is specified in trillion won, as you can see in this table. I will explain these projects in detail in coming slides. Okay, these are three projects of Digital New Deal, the first part of New Deal policy. So the first one, Data Dam, allows the processing, trading, and secure utilization of data. The second one, AI government. It will utilize 5G network, blockchain technology, and other new digital technologies to quickly process and provide customized public services. The last one, smart healthcare. Using 5G and IoT, Internet of Things, 18 smart hospitals will be built to allow for real-time monitoring and interdisciplinary diagnosis and treatment. Okay. The second category of New Deal policy is digital green industrial convergence. And there are 4 projects planned here. Green and smart schools. By installing solar panels and eco-friendly installation, old school buildings, including at least 2,890 elementary, middle, high school buildings, will be remodeled. And digital twin, which is a digital replica of an object that can be used for the analysis and prediction of the future through simulation, will be made for roads, underground spaces, harbors, and dams. Digital SOC implies major roads, harbors, and water supply system to be digitalized. Lastly, smart and green industrial complexes. Industrial complexes will be made smart and eco-friendly based on digital technology. Okay. Next. Yes, these are projects of Green New Deal, the third part of New Deal policy. Green remodeling is similar to green and smart schools in the previous page, but for old buildings. Solar panels will be installed and insulation will be replaced with high performance ones. And overhead power lines and communications cables in school zones will be replaced with underground cables. Green energy production. R&D and pilot projects will be expanded, and additional facilities will be provided to promote industries for renewable energy such as solar and wind power. Lastly, transition from old diesel and hydrogen vehicles will be supported to reduce the emission of greenhouse gases and to enhance competitiveness in the future car market. Okay, in the next 2 slides, I will explain how the financing is planned for New Deal policy. The New Deal Fund is created in 3 main ways, as you can see in the middle column. The first is a policy type New Deal Fund that is prepared through financial contributions from the government and policy financial institutions. And government invests 3 trillion won in policy financial institutions, 4 trillion won, to create a parent fund over the next 5 years. Private financial institutions and the general public will match 13 trillion won to create a total of 20 trillion won of overall plan amount. This is the money that will support New Deal related companies and New Deal projects. The recipients of this investment will be New Deal related private investment projects, infrastructure projects, New Deal related projects, New Deal related venture companies and SMEs. Private projects will include smart schools and hydrogen charging stations. Hydrogen and electric vehicle development projects are also New Deal related projects. The second New Deal fund is a New Deal infrastructure fund that focuses on investing in infrastructure related to New Deal business. With a scale of around 100 trillion won, it is the largest among New Deal funds. Data centers, smart joint logistics centers, renewable energy power generation complexes such as land, wind power, solar power, and hydrogen charging stations are the targets of New Deal infrastructure fund investment. The Ministry of Economy and Finance announced that it would apply 9% low rate separate tax on investments within 200 million won in dividend income. Lastly, the third New Deal fund is a privately funded New Deal fund. The 5 major financial holding companies announced that they will provide 70 trillion won of funding for New Deal project over the next 5 years. General public will be able to invest in the New Deal fund just as they participate in the small manager fund established last year. Korea Exchange is planning to help revitalize private New Deal funds by developing New Deal Index and New Deal ETF. Okay. In this slide, I will give you one detailed example of funding case of green business. Green and Smart Schools project will be funded both by government finances and through public-private partnership, PPP, via the Build Transfer Lease, BTL method. The private sector component of the project is planned to be expanded within a new SOC fund open to the public. And the second column, green business. A loan of 1.9 trillion won will be introduced for green sector. And the joint fund made up by public and the private sector will be set up for 215 billion won to foster green business. This shows the expected outcomes of New Deal policy by the end of 2025. Renewable energy generation is expected to reach 42.7 gigawatt by 2025. Also, there will be 1.1 million electric cars and 200,000 hydrogen fuel cell cars by 2025. This concludes the first part of the session. Hope these were useful information for you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Jisoo. That's it for today's webinar. If you have any further questions or require presentation material, please contact us at the below email address. And this webinar will be posted on the YouTube soon. We will let you know the link to YouTube via email. Thank you so much.